Since its introduction some 20 years ago, 21 years ago, 22? I should have checked this before I did the video. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it was early 2000s. The Honda Pilot has been one of my absolute favorite mid-size three-row SUVs. In fact, I mean, it has been my go-to, or I should say specify, was my go-to summer vacation vehicle way back when, with the first two generations at the very least of Honda's, well, still excellent offering in this ever-growing, ever-evolving, very important segment for just about all mainstream automakers, even the full-size, ultra-luxury premium brands is what I'm trying to say. And for the 2023 model year, Honda, well, introduced the fourth generation of the Honda Pilot. And for all intents and purposes, they kept everything that was good about the previous truck and just made it a little bit more attractive and spruced up for, you know, the 2020s, if you will. But the one thing happened in the process of doing that, and this is a reoccurring fault with Honda, at the very least in Canada, and that's, I don't know what the goal is with most Honda vehicles, especially the SUVs, where I'm just going to go right out and say it. They're just too damned expensive for what it is you get. I'll go over the exact pricing very, very shortly. But most of the Honda Pilot's competitors are either recently updated or all new, are all essentially less expensive or priced on par with this, but with more tech, newer features, and few more updates that make them generally more appealing than this. But the fact remains that the Honda Pilot is still, and this is probably what aggravates me the most about the Pilot, it remains still one of the best mid-size three-row SUVs you can buy in Canada. So why would Honda price it essentially out of competition? Because between you and I, all three of us, I rarely see any Honda Pilots on the road, and it's been out for well over a year at this point. So what does that tell you? It's just too expensive. But there are Highlanders everywhere, there are Atlases everywhere, Tellurides, Palisades, and so on and so forth, but very few of these. And in the following video, I won't be able to explain why that is, other than telling you that it's too expensive. But anyhow, in the following video, we'll do a lap of this one, a Trail Sport Edition, which is very, very handsome. I mean, that's probably one of the best things about, no, everything is good about this, except for that one thing, the pricing. And then we're going to take it for a V6 powered ultra smooth ride. So please hang in there. Alrighty then, well, I guess we could just jump right into styling. I mean, this is by far, the Pilot has always been very handsome, but this one, definitely Honda's gone, you know, full rugged. And yes, the Trail Sport does help. The 18-inch wheels, the extra flares, the extra 25 millimeters of ground clearance. Therefore, you know, a little bit more space between the wheel and the tire, the tire and the fender. I love the flat nose on this. It looks really, really good. It's definitely the dirtiest, no, just the beefiest Pilot ever, and it lines up nicely with the CR-V and the HR-V, and the forthcoming Ridgeline and Passport. Styling wise, I mean, I guess that's about it. It's a very, very attractive SUV, and this diffused sky blue available on Trail Sport, well, when it's clean, it looks pretty damn good too. Pricing in the US, the base LX, $37,090. Top trim Elite, $52,480. So in Canada, the base Sport is $51,650. I mean, if you just compare that quickly to the base Atlas, which is about $50,000, but has a larger screen, more torque in the engine, better fuel economy, just a slightly more updated, upgraded, and premium overall feel and look than this. It's a tough pill to swallow for this, for the Pilot. Same thing with the Traverse. I mean, the 2024 Traverse is going to have a lot more power, similar fuel economy, if not better. different design, and it'll probably be about $5,000 cheaper than the base Pilot. I mean, again, tough pill to swallow, but still, 51K. You get IVTM 4, all-wheel drive, heated steering wheel, LED lights, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, remote start, power tailgate, 20-inch wheels, and this is kind of the funny thing, a 7-inch touchscreen display. Now the Trail Sport itself is $58,450, which sits about in the middle of the full range, which tops out with the Black Edition at $63,850. Trail Sport, you get that off-road suspension, you get these unique 18-inch wheels, badging, all-terrain tires, skid plates, roof rail, Trail Watch camera system, and a couple of extra drive modes. And it's good. I don't think there's much more to say about this. I mean, power tailgate, as I mentioned. You can check out the boot. So behind let's clean that off. About 620 liters behind the third row, up to 630 in the different versions, depends on the equipment. Up to 1,685 liters behind the second row. And there's some usable space down here, which is actually quite nice. I love the bins on the side. That's about it. The third row itself is still very, very usable. So captain seats in this version. The only thing is that the lower cushion, if you can kind of see it there, is still very low to the ground, but it works. I mean, it's a plan B. It's not a plan Q for like other 3-row SUVs. This kind of works, but it's nowhere near as spacious as an Odyssey. So the second row, forward, the slide, tilt, and all that business, I really like it. There's tons of room, as you might expect. The pass-through here kind of serves as a shelf, but it's cool. It's very nice. I mean, the interior fit finish is beautiful. Love the shades. Storage. I love that HVAC, so triple zone, rear to front. Get to the front. I mean, the materials are nice. I mean, it does look premium, definitely better, more premium than the previous generation. Love these seats, multi-way adjustable. They just look great, and they are as comfy as they look. So let's step aboard, start it up. It's freaking cold today. So while we're here, so this is your display. This portion is digital. That's actually analog. A lot of SUVs in this segment have fully digital layouts, 10 inches, 12 inches, depending on the make and model. Though I like the analog, for the average buyer, they want fully digital. This is the 9-inch display that comes in from the EXL on, so only the base Sport does not have a 9-inch display. But again, a lot of the competition either starts at 9 or starts at 10 and goes up from there up to over 17 inches, for example, in a Traverse. So this is a little bit of a bug, though. I mean, at least it's got a volume knob. It's got, so your tune is right there. It all works really well. HVAC controls, very straightforward. I like it. Heated steering wheel. Like I said, it's freaking cold. The steering wheel itself is really nice. So you got the paddle shifters over here. Spokes right here are very thin, so the grip is good. This, I got to deal with it. This is your drive modes. Here we go. So you see Sport, Normal, Econ, Snow right down there in the middle. I'll zoom in, try anyway. There we go. And then you get to the special ones, Trail and Sand, right there, which are unique to this version. I've been driving Normal and Sport almost exclusively because there's no point in doing anything else per se. Again, storage. Love this little shelf here. It's fantastic. Very deep bin over here with garbage in, apparently. Visibility is a little bit disappointing, to be honest. It's below the windshield line, but still, it sticks out. This is another element, even in 2024, a lot of screens are well integrated into their background. That's not the case here. So not that it's dated, but it's a little bit behind on some of the competition. And about the visibility, as I was saying, in the A-pillar, the base is huge, especially with the mirror block-off plate. But you can kind of scooch over and see between the pillar and the mirror. But otherwise, fit and finish in here is beautiful. Everything is very ergonomically laid out. It's very nice. And the drive is even nicer. So let's go do that. I suppose. I won't say anything else. It controls, by the way, 10-speed automatic transmission, which is standard across the board. In a word, it's excellent. It likes to shift. It likes to glide from one gear to another. Hasn't skipped a beat at all. And this very particular, the specific Pilot Trail Sport already has almost 15,000 hard kilometers on it. So you know those are auto journal kilometers. So they tend to be a little bit harsher. You know, I don't know why. I mean, not that we drive like this ever, but yeah, it's a lovely transmission. Does what it has to do. It is mated, as we like to say, to Honda's glorious, glamorous, ultra smooth, lovely sounding 3.5 liter V6. It's still, am I going to do it again? I guess I'm going to do it again. Terrible. Which produces 285 horsepower at 6,100 RPM and 262 pound-feet of torque at 5,000 RPM. Most powerful Pilot ever, yeah, maybe, but a lot of four-cylinder turbocharged options in the competition offers maybe less horsepower but a lot more torque, or in other cases a lot more horsepower and a lot more torque, and will consume less fuel. 11.8 is what Honda says you can expect to average in combined driving with this vehicle. I'm doing a little worse than that. I don't know why. I really don't. But say with the Pilot, with the Atlas with the 2-liter turbo or 2.5 liter turbo in the Ascent, that's essentially what you'll average, but you get a lot more power. And if you're easy on the throttle, you should be able to do a little bit better than the V6. Should. I probably can't, but the thing is with the V6 is that it's naturally aspirated, ultra smooth. It always is such a beautiful engine just to hear operate and to feel it operate. I feel like I've been saying this for years, but it's going to be a sad day when they're all gone. But you know, I've been saying this for years, and they're still around. We'll see. What else can I say about? Oh yeah, so multi-link suspension, McPherson in front, obviously. The ride quality, and this is. I'm trying to paint a picture here that says or explains that the Pilot is really, really good. The ride quality is exceptional. It drives like a big Honda, but that's not entirely accurate. But the point I'm trying to say is that it's extremely competent. And the off-road tuned suspension you get with this extra 1 inch extra ground clearance. So I think it's like just over 8.25 inches of ground clearance compared to just over 7.25 inches of ground clearance for the regular, or the other Pilots. I don't know, in the tuning, whatever it is they did, the ride is supple, it's smooth, it's like the V6, it's just fantastic. It's really, really nice. And steering is connected to the front wheels, and it does what you expect it to do. The brakes feel great, obviously in discs on all four corners. It's just an extremely competent family SUV. It doesn't have, I keep saying premium when it comes to the Atlas and a few others, even the Grand Highlander, okay fine, a little bit bigger than this. Actually, it's still on par with the Grand Highlander, but obviously, and the Highlander, obviously you get hybrid options, whereas this is only the V6, so that's kind of a bug, I suppose, for some. Maybe one of the reasons, or another one of the reasons why there are so few of these Pilots, at least on the road in the greater Montreal area. But just in every other case, it's such a good SUV. I mean, it can tow up to 5,000 pounds. There's nothing wrong with this except for Honda asking way too much. I mean, you can still offer the V6 with less torque than most turbocharged four-cylinder engines, smaller screens and, you know, lesser screens. But, you know, knock $3,000 or $4,000 off the price and you'll probably move a few more of these. But otherwise, if you want to spend the money, this is not a bad place to spend it at all. And that's it.